If you've not completed your silent reading, please do continue to the end. The rest of the congregation is now invited to turn to page 408 for the cantor's chanting of the Amidah for Neilah. As you may recall, the tradition, which is centuries old, is that as we stand before God in this final hour, that we remain standing, the ark remains open for the duration of the Amidah's chanting. If you are not able to stand, that is, of course, completely fine. You should only do that which you are capable of doing, especially at the end of this long day. For those who can stand, it's a final statement of our affirmation of faith and our prayers for the coming year. Page 408.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Umevi Goel Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ava Zochreinu L'chaim Melech Hafetz V'chaim V'chotmeinu B'sever HaChaim L'ma'alecha Elohim Chayim Melech Hozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechayei Metim Atah Rahav Lehoshia Mechalkel Chayim Chayim Bechesed Mechayei Metim Berachamim Rabim Samech Nofim Berofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayim Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Bagevurot Umidam Elach Melech Meimit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata l'chayot metim Baruch Atah Adonai Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo Bechayei HaMetim Amen Yimelech Adonai leolam, Elohai Yor, ledor vador, Hallelujah. Ve'ata kadosh yoshev, tehilot Yisrael, tehilot Yisrael, Elam.
The Kedusha, 411.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Eloch kol haaretz kevodo, kevodo, Mahale olam, Mesharetav, Shoalim zel lazer, Aye mekom kevodo, Leumatam, Baruch yameru, Baruch kevod Adonai mimkomo, mimkomo, hu yifen berachamim, veyachonam, ham yachadim shemo, veyachonam, ham yachadim shemo, erev vavoker bechol yom tamid, pamayim be'ahava shema omrim, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Vehu Yashmienu, Yashmienu berachamav, Shenit, 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 Shenit leyene kol chai, Liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Ma'adir Shimcha, Bechol haaretz, Ve'haya Adonai, Lemelech al kol haaretz, Vayom hahu, Yeh Adonai, Echad, Ushemo Echad, Uvdivrei Kodshecha, Katuv Lemor, Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Tzion, Ledor vador, Hallelujah. Ledor vador, Ledor vador, Ledor vador, Nagid God lecha, Ledor vador, Ledor vador, Ledor vador, Nagid God lecha, Ulenetzach netzachim, Ulenetzach netzachim, Kedushatecha nakdish, Veshivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam vaed. Ledor vador, Ledor vador, Ledor vador, Nagid God lecha, Ledor vador, Ledor vador, Ledor vador, Nagid God lecha, Ki el melech gadol, gadol vekadosh, gadol vekadosh ata. Ki el melech gadol, gadol vekadosh, gadol vekadosh ata.
Keep open the gates for us at the time of the closing of the gate, for the day is coming to an end. P'tach lanu sha'ar, page 414.
P'tach, p'tach lanu, p'tach lanu shar, b'yet neilat shar, kifan hayom, hayom ifneh, השמש יבוא ויפנה, נבוא שעריך, נבוא שעריך. אנא אל נא, שא נא, סלח נא, מחל נא, חמול נא, רחם נא, כפר נא. כבוש חטא ועוון.
May the cry of those who pray to you rise up before the throne of your glory. Fulfill the request of those who worship you alone, you who hear the prayers of those who approach you. In Kat Mesaldecha, 416.
En kat mesaldecha, ta lifnei chisei chavodecha, malei mishalot hameyachadecha, shomea tefilat, shomea tefilat, shomea tefilat ba'ehadecha. Israel no shav Adonai, Teshuat, Teshuat olamim, gam hayom, yivashu mipicha, shochen, shochen meromim, ki atam bav slichichot, uval harachamim, ki atam rav slichot, uval harachamim, yachbi einu tzel yado, תחת כנפי השכינה, חון יחון כיפון, לב עקב להכינה, קומנה אלוהינו, עוזה וזינה, אדוני תשבתנו, שבתנו הזינה. ישמיעני סלחתי, יושב בסתר עליון, בימין ישר להיוושע, עמני ואביון, בשבנו אליך, נוראות בצדק תעננו, אדוני היה עוזר, עוזר לנו.
Ki anu amecha, for we are your people, and you are our God. 420.
Ki anu amecha, ve'ata Eloheinu, anu alecha, ve'ata Adonenu, anu alecha, ve'ata Adonenu, anu kehalecha, ve'ata chelkeinu, anu nachalatecha, ve'ata goraleinu, anu tzonecha, ve'ata roveinu, anu charmecha, ve'ata notreinu, anu fulatecha, ve'ata yotzreinu, anu rayatecha, ve'ata dodeinu, anu skolatecha, ve'ata kroveinu, anu amecha, ve'ata malkeinu, anu mamirecha, ve'ata amireinu.
And now the final confession of Yom Kippur, Ashamnu Bagadnu, 421.
Ashamnu Bagadnu Gazalnu Dibarnu Dofi Hevinu Vehirshanu Zadnu Chamasnu Tafalnu Sheker Yatznu Ra Kizavnu Latznu Maradnu Niatznu Sararnu Avinu Pashanu Sararnu Kishinu Oref Rashanu Shichatnu Tiavnu Tainu Titanu
Sim shalom tova uvracha. May God grant peace in the world, goodness and blessing, grace, love, and compassion to us and to all his creatures. 424.
Sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim Barcheinu, Barcheinu Avinu, Kulanu Ke'echad. Barcheinu, Barcheinu Avinu, Be'or Panecha. Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Chen V'Chesed Berachamim, Aleinu, Al Kol Yisrael. Amecha, Amecha, Ki be'or panecha natata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, Torat Chaim, ve'avat chesed, ve'avat chesed, usaka, uvracha, ve'rachamim, ve'chaim, ve'shalom. Sim shalom, Aleinu, Al Kol Yisrael. Amecha, Amecha, V'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'chol עת v'chol sha'ah, Ishlomecha. Everybody. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu, al kol Yisrael. Amecha, B'sefer Chaim, beracha v'shalom, u'farnasa tova, farnasa tova, nizacher v'nechatem lefanecha. אנחנו וכל עמך, בית ישראל, לחיים טובים ולשלום, בספר חיים נחתם. Ata Adonai Oseh HaShalom.
Avinu Malkeinu, 425.
Avinu Malkeinu chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu Shema koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu chamol aleinu ve'yalol aleinu v'tapenu. kale dever v'cherev rav me'aleinu avinu malkeinu kale chotzar umastin me'aleinu avinu malkeinu avinu malkeinu חותמנו בספר חיים טובים אבינו מלכנו חדש עלינו חדש עלינו שנה טובה אבינו מלכנו אבינו מלכנו חדש עלינו שנה טובה אבינו מלכנו שמע קולנו שמע קולנו שמע קולנו אבינו מלכנו חננו בנינו אבינו מלכנו חננו בנינו כי אין בנו מעשים עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד והושיענו
You may be seated. $428.
יתקדם ויתקדש שמי רבה וילמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי וחייכון ומכון וחייך בית ישראל והגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשם לעילה מן כל בחדה ושירתה תשוחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן תתקבל צלותון וברכתון לכל ישראל קודם עבודי בשמיה ואמרו אמן יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיה וחיים אלינו על כל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
You may be seated. All right, we are quickly approaching the end of this Yom Kippur. I want to invite all of our children who are here now, young children who would like to be part of our processional. If you'll leave the synagogue right now, leave the congregation, leave the room. No, don't leave the synagogue. Just go. All right. And while our youngsters are heading out, Everyone who's here tonight, everyone who's here tonight knows or can imagine what it has been like to bring these services together. As I was reminded before Neilah tonight, we literally had 2 weeks to make all of this happen. Everything you see in 2 weeks. We weren't sure we would have any place to go. Many hotels turned us down, not because they don't like us, but because we weren't asking for the right things. We wanted rooms that could seat 4,000 people. They wanted people who wanted to rent 1,000 rooms. We had no rooms to rent. They had no rooms to offer. And so, of course, we have thanked many times and do yet again Joel Osteen, Victoria Osteen, their entire Lakewood staff for giving us this opportunity to create this special Shabbat and Yom Kippur. Now, the one thing we may not have said, but I'm going to say this very quickly, is that when I tell you that our being here was a gift of Lakewood Church, I want you to understand what the word gift means. Gift means a gift. A gift. This was hard to believe because they had every right to say, you only have to cover our expenses, you only have to pay for the paid professionals. A gift. And that is what makes this so extraordinary a gift for us at a time when we needed someone, someplace to stretch out its arms and welcome us and give us a home for the holidays. We had to turn to our entire administrative staff, our building staff, our kitchen staff. We had to ask people to do jobs they weren't hired to do. Everybody put aside their responsibilities, whatever it involved, whether it was business, whether it was endowments, whether it was administering the synagogue. You know, what synagogue? Right now we don't have one. People who do programming, I mean, everything that people do, they just put it aside. And for these last 2 weeks, everybody has pulled together. I want to start by thanking our Assistant Executive Director, Missy Schlater, Mindy Stern, Jennifer Sutton, Brianna Sherman, Ashley Mills, Nicole Deloach, Diane Gordon, Tanya Stiegel, Lisa Unsel, Abby Rodenberg, Hillary Nitzen, Gail Schnoor, Ellen Petrus, Cheryl Eskowitz, Lauren Federer, Sarah Goldberg, Eileen Pettigrew, Chef Kevin Flores, Marco Alvarado, Sheila Jackson, Sultamain Dupiche, Bruce Jackson, Romeo Archibald, John Houston, Rios Dupiche, Mike Jenkins, Leontes Bilbrun, David Gordon, Amparo Colazo, Valerie Colazo, Alicia Guess, Bernadette Bien, Pierre Aim, and Avis Guillory. These are our staff from top to bottom who laid down their jobs, and many of them laid down their lives to give up time with family and home, to be here all hours to get this done. Just amazing. This is the best staff Beth Yeshurun has ever had. I'm telling you, I've been here 21 years, 22 years now. Never have I seen people pull together, give up their weekends to make this happen for our congregation. And heading up that whole, everybody, our special, extraordinary, my beloved Executive Director, Lou Dorfman. Where is Lou? Hey, okay, Lou. We went to one meeting and Lou started by putting on the chart his blood pressure when we started, his blood pressure when we finished the meeting. We're lucky we kept you, Lou. I know what it took to get us to this place today. I want to thank our office volunteers who helped with all the high holiday preparations when our staff was so preoccupied with other things. We were in a temporary office. We lost days after the flooding. Then we had to pick up and find a place to move everybody. We're so grateful to all those people, our volunteers, Sandy Rubin, Amy Mueller, Robert Gilman, Margot Gilman, Janet Ricklin, Barbara Selzer, and Inez Eskowitz for being there for us and helping us, and our office staff. We want to thank Jack Polacek, who got us an office and opened it up for us to go in and use it so we could put together everything that transpired here. He's not a member of our congregation. He belongs to Young Israel, but he's a friend of the Jewish people, and he reached out to us and helped us. We're so grateful to Yaakov. We want to thank Jody Brahm for the signage, and to Jason Cole and to Tippett and Moo Advertising for all the signage you've seen all over. People have been so impressed and so happy to see all of these L'Shana Tova signs, and welcome to Lakewood Church, and welcome to Beth Yeshurun, and where you go. And that was all done by Jody Bram. She is an amazingly talented young lady. We are so grateful to Jody and to Jason Cole. I want to thank Rabbi Ariel Scholklapper. Ariel is the husband of Rabbi Fort, but he stepped in, I tell you, he stepped in when we were trying to clear out the building. It was a mess. You know what things are like when they get sopping wet and stinking. He was there to help us pull it all together. He showed up out of nowhere, it seemed, and was always there when I turned around. Ariel, we thank you for being one of the leaders in getting our building cleaned up. Our sound engineer, Philip Langlis. Philip, thank you, back there. Our security committee, Richard Cameraman and Lieutenant Mike Leal and Mike Connolly of the Bel Air Police Department, came over to Lakewood, joined with their own security team here to give us the security we needed to feel comfortable and safe. Our ritual committee and its chair, Arthur Nathan. Our High Holidays committee and chair, Lori Herzog. Our High Holiday Usher Corps, Irving Wishnow, for the umpteenth year. I don't know how many years it's been, Irving, chairing that committee. Our Gabayim, these are the amazing, amazing people who make sure everything runs so smoothly. You know, you just turn around and there's one of them. Our head Gabbai, Alan Levin, is simply extraordinary. And his crew, Brian Siegel, Gordon Franklin, Brad Levy, Mitch Levy, Lori Herzog, Aaron Kiter, all of them work together in tandem to make our services go so beautifully and smoothly. Thank you so much. We thank Max Estes for creating the Yizkor book this year again, and Jeff Karp for printing it. Mrs. Schlater and Ray Uzik went through all the names, collaborated to make sure that everything was just right. And Abby Rodenberg and Mrs. Schlater coordinated many of the assigned honors for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. You know, the honors went out, a batch of them went out before the flood, and many people didn't even get them, so we didn't know until we actually showed up in shul for each of the services who actually had an honor. This is unusual, never happened before. It could have been chaos, it could have been total bedlam, but thanks to our Gabbais, everything went smoothly. We had more members than ever and people from throughout the country listening to us on our Beth Yeshurun internet streaming. And we want to thank Nancy and Arthur Brand for sponsoring our streaming this year, as they have before, in memory of their parents, Ai and Manette Cheps and Alan Brand. And we thank the family of the late Norma Cost for their continuing sponsorship of the telephone broadcast, which didn't work on Rosh Hashanah, but did work on Yom Kippur. They were established in memory of Norma's beloved husband, Nathan. These were ways for people who couldn't get here, who didn't feel up to coming to the synagogue, who didn't feel comfortable coming to High Holidays this year because of all they had been through. They could go online and they could see our beautiful services. I want to thank our sisterhood for all the beautiful flowers in our services here today. Our ambassadors who served our congregation on the High Holidays and throughout the year, welcoming members and guests. to our services. That was the mandate of the Ambassadors Program, and its chair is Susan Pillar. Thank you, Susan. Amy Crost-Gordon for coordinating all of our terrific children's programs on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And did we have children's programs this year? It was a dream world, Disneyland. We had all access to Lakewood's extraordinary children's departments, and Amy took full advantage of it. And so did Rihanna Sherman, our program director, who coordinated all of our children's Havdalah activities and was part of our events downstairs as well. We thank Sarah Goldberg for leading today's middle school program. We thank Greg and Melanie Rosenberg and their family for once again giving us apples and honey when we left the synagogue on Rosh Hashanah. And we thank HEB for delivering 3,000 apples so that no one would be hungry on their way home from shul. We thank our Beth Yeshurun Family Service Choir for the beautiful singing of Sim Shalom on the second day of Rosh Hashanah. And I want to offer personal thanks to Dennis and Sarah Bram for opening their home to Marcy and me and giving me the space and the quiet in which I was able to write, to have an office, and to orchestrate this extraordinary turn of events for our congregation. And while we're thanking Lakewood Church, let me thank one other important institution in our community, which has opened its doors to us in one of the most spectacularly generous ways, and that is Congregation B'rith Shalom. Congregation B'rith Shalom is our sister conservative congregation right up the street from us. We called them, we said we needed help, we flooded, we had no place to pray, no place to bring our congregation for Shabbos. They opened their doors to us. They have given us free space and access for everything we need to do. We do meetings there. We have programs there. Our gathering place and Yes Group are going to be going there. We have been part of their services on Friday night and Shabbat morning. We'll be together for Sukkot. Rabbi Ranon Teller, the executive director, Larry Estes, and the president, Steve Rubin, have opened their arms and welcomed us and let us move in. And we are so grateful to them at this time of great urgency for Beth Yeshurun. We thank B'rith Shalom from the bottom of our hearts. For our Mincha service this afternoon, we thank Annette Sandak, who for the 43rd time led our family service here at Beth Yeshurun and the family service choir. We are so happy that we could have these youngsters here today for our Mincha. Judy Ambra conducting the choir, Clay Howell on accompanying Annette and the family choir on the piano, Kenny Horwitz serving as gabbai and shofar blower, who stepped up to help lead the services, all the wonderful students who participated today, including our Torah readers, Ilana Inselbuck and Nikki Miller. We thank Rabbi Ford for actually leading the service, and our Mincha speakers, Marissa Kapp, Noah Strauss, and Peter Barry. Wonderful, inspiring talks. We thank them all. We thank our shofar blowers. We thank Max Uzik, Kenny Horwitz, and Ronnie Miller. We thank you all, and we're going to hear them in just a few moments when we finish our service. I thank our Baalei Shachrit, those who led us in the early services each morning, Arthur Nathan on Rosh Hashanah and Neil Teibel on this beautiful Yom Kippur. We thank our Haftarah chanters in our sanctuary service, Michael Richger, David Levy, Jonathan Bailiff, and of course Cantor Finkelstein in his beautiful chanting of Yonah today. We thank our Torah reader, Rabbi Danny Horwitz, who was assisted by Michael Richger and did beautiful nusach for us, chanted the Torah readings in the special melody of the High Holy Days. And we thank, of course, our Beth Yeshurun High Holidays Choir, who sang their hearts out and had such a difficult and challenging time preparing when the congregation was moving from place to place. I want to thank our organist and music maestro, Brian Granquist. Now, this is a guy I really admire because he has been playing since 9:30 this morning. I mean, you can imagine, everybody likes to, piddle on the piano. How would you like to be doing these major pieces all day long? Did you get lunch? No. I mean, when could he? I mean, we're davening right through, and he was there at that keyboard all day long. Thank you so much, as you are all year long for us. I want to thank my wonderful colleagues who led many parts of our service today. We're all over this building, leading Museum Minyan, Chapel, Family Service, of course, Sanctuary. I begin by thanking my beloved Rabbi Emeritus, Jack Siegel, celebrating his 88th birthday and in the fitness of a lifetime. He looks great. I thank my colleagues, Rabbi Steve Morgan and Rabbi Brian Strauss and Rabbi Sarah Fort. We are so blessed to have 3 extraordinary rabbis on our bench. I have so much more to say about them. There will be other opportunities to do so. But let me just say quickly, a special welcome to Rabbi Fort. Her first high holidays. When you chose to come to Beth Yeshurun, she thought she was coming to this beautiful shul on Beechnut Street, and everything was going to be just really nice. We'd get a nice schedule, and she'd have her projects and events. She didn't know that she was going to be part of a disaster relief program for America's largest conservative synagogue. But let me say about Rabbi Ford something very special. She has truly proven to me what an extraordinary choice we made at Beth Yeshurun. She's only been here officially since July 1, and yet she stepped in from the beginning of this whole disaster, immediately worked with Rabbi Morgan, Rabbi Strauss, and me to create an outreach program to recruit volunteers, to keep up with how many people need help. She has been just beyond words. I appreciate so much knowing that we have a new colleague who's ready to step up, just as our previous colleagues, our existing colleagues, Rabbi Morgan and Rabbi Strauss, have for so many years done themselves. We welcome you. To Rabbi Strauss, a very special, simple message. It's all yours. Okay. Not quite yet, but when I became a rabbi, I was taught by one of my teachers that there are 2 people I need to take into my confidence and always know they are there for me and be there for them. One is my executive director. You must have a good relationship with a wonderful executive director. And a rabbi in a synagogue must also count as among his closest colleagues and friends and confidants, the cantor of the shul. I have that in Meir Finkelstein, and I'm so proud to share another High Holy Day with you. This man has sung his heart out under trying circumstances. He has shown me this last month exactly what kind of a person he is. There has not been a day we haven't talked, and he is worried about what is happening and what he can do to make things better. Like everyone else, he has crossed the lines from being just the cantor to being whatever needs to be done. To prepare the extraordinary amount of music for our High Holy Day at Beth Yeshurun, not have a synagogue, to have rehearsals scheduled all over town, to bring it all together in a strange setting, new layout, different organ and a musical accompaniment, everything. He has proven himself to be truly a great cantor and a great friend for our congregation and for me personally. Thank you, Meir. And now, last but not least, I want to thank my president, Arlene Staller. Arlene, are you there? Arlene, come here. Arlene, poor baby. It's been so hard. Arlene flooded. We flooded, and yet, you know what? That didn't stop the high holidays from starting exactly when they were on the calendar to do. And Arlene has had to juggle all the different balls to make it all happen. She's led an extraordinary executive committee which has worked tirelessly, met repeatedly to make sure everything at Beth Yeshurun stays together, stays whole. We needed strong leadership. We needed compassionate leadership. We needed leadership that believes in what Beth Yeshurun stands for and what we owe this congregation whenever we do something like this. That's been you. You were the president for this time. It was your destiny, your mission. It's been a pleasure and an honor to work with you. Thank you. Last but not least, I want to share with you how much of an honor it has been for me to be your rabbi. And this year, even though things have turned out a little less than we expected, I want to say my own sense is that this will be remembered as one of the most extraordinary high holy days in the history of our congregation. This congregation has come together. This congregation showed up. This congregation made sure that we had the high holidays that we are used to and want to have wherever we are. Beth Yeshurun is more than a building with a roof. Beth Yeshurun is the people in it. Beth Yeshurun has gone through an extraordinary journey these last few weeks, but we are together, we are here, we have a great year planned, and it begins now. I thank you for the privilege of being your rabbi for these high holy days, and this year, I thank you for everything you've done for me and for our synagogue. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's sit down. We got a bunch of children back there. Can we dim these lights just a little bit, do you think? At Lakewood, anything's possible. Okay, that's good, that's good. All right. Cantor.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru ameinu. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu. Let's all rise for the Havdalah. La 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen. La 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei מהורי האש. Lai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol ben or lechoshech Ben Yisrael ha'amim, ben Yom HaShvi'i, l'sheshet yemei ha'maaseh. Baruch ata Adonai, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Lai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 lai. Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Adonai hu ha-Elohim Adonai hu ha-Elohim Adonai hu ha-Elohim Adonai hu ha-Elohim
לשנה הבאה בירושלים. שנה טובה.
Behold what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that He calls us the children of God. And that's what we are. Not an ordinary family, though.
says on number system, nothing. Boy, then the one that was like a 10, she posted on her Snap. She really she posted on her Snapchat today. She blasts this guy, one for one. Now me, we were cool. Like, at least I got, you know what I'm saying? I never came out creepy, never did the whole weird stuff. One dude was like, he was like, my future queen. She was like, LOL. And then, what's this? She was like, LOL. And then she was like, I'm telling you right now, dude, know you a father. 3 to 5 more years, I'm curving everybody. She's like, for the next 3 to 5 years, I'm curving everybody. Hashtag happily single. Hashtag happily
I never actually met a girl that posted all that.
Yeah, bro. I was like, first of all, that's strange that you would post that. And the second thing is like, you don't know, like you can have your idea. I mean, like, I don't know, maybe you can build your own world or whatever, but I would never be that closed-minded to be like,
You have to be like,
have
like
yourself.
socially awkward. Like, I've seen some girls on Instagram that are like legit like 9s, almost 10s, if not. But they're just like interested in me. Like, they're like men don't even come into the conversation at all.
Yeah.
Those I believe, but if it's someone that's just like attention, just like
Yeah, like you talking about it and like, come on, man, like nobody cares.
you don't even believe that.
Exactly, like.
You mean? Man, I'm about to go straight to sleep.
What's the boss say you going there?
He's talking about